Welcome to the Deadliest Warrior. In this special double edition episode, you'll see the White House's most glamorous couple, a mischievous mistress, and a man who always seems second best. Get ready for two fights unlike anything featured before.
Well guys, Shannon, your hostess here. Tonight we've got not one, but two fights that will leave you speechless. Next to me is Grace, a recognized historian in the Kennedy and Johnson years.
Thanks, Shannon. Tonight my job's going to be to provide some historical background on our candidates to determine who would be the deadliest warrior.
I'm anticipating fighting like we've never seen before. We've got Jack Kennedy and LBJ, or youthful combat experience. We've also got JFK's wife, Jackie, and his alleged mistress, Marilyn Monroe. That's definitely going to be interesting.
Definitely. The fight I'm really interested to see is Kennedy versus LBJ. Did you know that pretty much Jack Kennedy won the election because he looked better than LBJ? That gives you a lot of faith in America.
I've heard that theory before, though I don't know. Even if he and his Camelot administration didn't pass a lot of their legislation they drafted, it wasn't their fault. Congress blocked them every step of the way. LBJ, though, he got it passed, and that's why I'm tending to his favor.
That's a fair point, I guess. I'm also really anxious to see Marilyn versus Mrs. Kennedy.
Oh, expect some drama there. I don't care what anyone says. Monroe and JFK had an affair right under Miss Kennedy's nose.
Well, that's never been proven one way or the other. There's really actually only one picture of them together. Even though I like Jackie better, I've got to say I'm favoring Marilyn. She had a pretty tough time growing up as a ward of the state, and I'd wager this is not her first fight.
I agree. In her time period in ours, Jackie Kennedy has come to represent elegance, grace, and refinement, not the qualities you'd see in a warrior.
Exactly. I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. Right now we're going to head to the interview room where we'll really get down to the attributes and detriments of each of our warriors. Okay guys, welcome back to Deadliest Warrior. Shannon and I have decided to break down the categories we're going to rate our warriors on into 3 sections. Shannon, would you like to explain?
There'll be intelligence, public image, and background. The intelligence is self-explanatory. It's going to talk about their college and
the places they've been educated. And then for public image, what we're basing it off of is how society viewed them at their times and in our time as well.
For background, we're going to be talking about how they grew up and how that would affect them as warriors.
And now we're going to go to the simulation room where you can see a more broken down version of how we rated our warriors.
Well, if it isn't the trouble tramp herself.
I don't know what you're talking about, Jackie. Your husband slept with half the country.
I don't so much dislike you for what you did with my husband. I feel bad for you. You're so troubled and he just took complete advantage of you.
Your husband cared more about me than he ever did about you.
Oh yeah? Then why did George Smathers admit to hearing you tell him that you're not first woman material?
Things went on between your husband and me that you couldn't ever imagine. Things that would rip you apart. And once I tell him, I hope they do.
I know all about March 24th in Palm Springs. I know all about every single encounter that me and my husband ever had.
Do you know about what happened after the time I came to the White House? Do you know about the cruise under the moonlight on the Pontiac?
I know that you left that night at 11:30 and did not sleep at my home. my home. Nothing went on between you two that night, Marilyn, and you know it. It ate you up inside to know that he didn't have feelings for you. You couldn't take the rejection. You can never take the rejection. That's part of your problem. That's why I felt so bad for you, and I was so disgusted with my husband for doing that.
You don't know anything about me. Your husband wanted me. I was the most wanted woman in the world. When I walked into that presidential dinner, the whole room went silent and split in half for me. Everyone wanted me.
Everyone was silent because they had been waiting since 8 o'clock to get their dinner started, and you were still sitting gazing at yourself in the mirror at 9. You're so vain, Marilyn.
Jackie, I feel so sorry for you. You're worthless without your husband. At least I'm so desirable with or without him.
Oh, please. At least I'll always have a family, one that'll always love me.
Oh.
Hey, John.
Oh, hey, Lyndon.
How's it going?
It's going.
What seems to be the problem?
Well, the economy's in a slump, and I have a solution, but no one will listen. I have no mandate and no way to get the legislation through.
Ha! Silly little man-child. What is your solution?
Excuse me? My solution is the best. It has no flaw. I will make a grand tax cut, and it will stimulate the economy. It will put money in the consumers' pockets, and they will consume as they do, and the economy will be stimulated.
Very good idea. I might have to steal it. So what else is going on?
This whole man on the moon deal, it needs to be done. NASA needs to send a ship to the moon. I've been made aware of the vast cost of the Apollo program, but it's worth the knowledge that will be retrieved.
I have some plans of my own.
Oh yeah? And what is your plan, and how do you intend on passing it through Congress?
I have my ways. Some like to call it the Johnson treatment. If you haven't noticed, I'm quite intimidating, and I use it to my advantage.
Well, what do you suppose we do then?
I agree with sending a man to the moon. I think we should take it further and look to see many more space flights in the future.
But are you sure we can afford it?
Yes! We can. It will happen. I can assure you. I already have plans for an Apollo 8 and 11.
I'm glad we're on the same page, Lyndon. Do that.
Indeed.
So, how about that Cuban Missile Crisis? What a disaster.
Well, if you weren't such a complete idiot, it wouldn't have been.
Pardon me? What are you trying to say? What's your point?
Like I said, you're an idiot, and you should approach it another way.
And sending in armed Cuban forces was a bad thing? The Bay of Pigs invasion went bad, but it could have been a lot worse.
You made the U.S. look utterly stupid and didn't accomplish what you set out to do. You failed.
And what would you have done, old man?
Well, I would have threatened them. We have more nukes, more firepower. We could take them on and out. And they would have cowered to Mother Russia, looking for a warm glass of milk. But you were too stupid to see that. And who you call an old man?
That would be you, Gramps.
I'll show you, Gramps. World War II couldn't kill me, neither can you.
Let's go! Hit me!
That's you cheating on me with that Monroe chick.
Well, it seems like things have taken an unusual turn on this special edition episode of The Deadliest Warrior. I didn't expect any of that, did you, Shannon?
No, of course not. These games have sure been interesting. First an affair comes out in the open, and then how Jackie comes out of nowhere and kills JFK.
Yes, indeed, and also how Jack Kennedy and LBJ were fighting over the ideas as president, and how LBJ clearly wanted to steal Kennedy's ideas of the tax cuts and sending man to the moon.
I think this unique set of people on The Deadliest Warrior has sure been intriguing to watch.
Oh, definitely. The way Jackie killed JFK at the end really caught me off guard. The details about the affair between Kennedy and Marilyn Monroe, I could not close my eyes for 1 second.
Watching this week's episode of The Deadliest Warrior, I'm sure you loved it just as much as we did. Be sure to tune in next week for Mr. Robichaud and Miss Wagner's fight to the death.
Definitely going to be an interesting fight to watch. Thanks for watching. Good night, everyone.
Hold it for him so he can look at it.
So it looks like he's looking at you.
That's a
Right. Are you sure we can afford?
Yes!
Yeah. And what would you have done, old man?
I don't know.
Lord, when I talk and then I.
Roby's laugh. Take one.
Sorry. You're lucky you can't see me.
Okay, ready?
Close your eyes.
Yeah. And the intelligence.
Sorry. It is wicked awkward. It's so awkward.
Okay. Shannon, start over.
What are they selling?
That's all, folks.